Peace. Welcome everyone to the Sister Cypher. We ask that everyone please hit the like button, subscribe, and share. I'm Quan, and I have with me tonight Carrie, Cat Boogie from the Bronx, and Tony Floyd, Miss Tony Floyd. Ladies, you would like to say hello to the chat room?
Greeting everyone, blessings, blessings.
Hey, greetings, people.
Okay, and Alex will be joining us a little later. Tonight, we would like to do something a little different. I know we always tackle the heavy topics and we're always talking about very serious topics, but tonight I want to do something refreshing and I want to focus on the more positive side of things, if you will. And so our topic tonight is going to be about starting a business. And so the reason why I want to discuss this because I definitely want us in 2020, and as you know, our motto is 2020 vision, black code, and part of having that black code is ownership and having a business. And that's primarily so you can leave a legacy back for your children and your family, and also so you can get rid of the wealth gap that we have in the U.S. when it's concerning ADOS. So I do want to focus on, you know, steps of how we get from point A to point B. And I've had discussions with all three of these ladies about, you know, them wanting to pursue and have their own business. And I definitely want to give my perspective on it because I am a business owner. And for those of you who don't know, I'm an architect and developer. And so I do have a business, and I didn't have anyone to share, you know, a lot of the information on where to start, you know, who to contact, how to register, what to do. And, you know, I think it's important for us to really share the knowledge so that, you know, we can all prosper at the end of the day. And so I just want to encourage everyone, you know, whatever your passion is, I think you should turn it into a business. Because what better way to be doing something you love, but also to make money from it, help your community and also your family. So I do want to get your take on it, ladies. Like, we've had these discussions before. And basically, I know, Miss Tony, you basically told me that you wanted to focus on, you know, insurance and selling insurance and being a consultant. And you wanted to start your business, but you was kind of getting research. And we had this discussion, I think about a week or so ago. And I just want to get your take on it because I know also you, Carrie, you do want to start your business as well. And I do want to talk about your dreams and your passions. And any way I can be of help, you know, I definitely want to lend a helping hand. But I do want to get your take, Miss Tony.
Well, first I want to start by saying, Quan, I just want to thank you.
You're welcome.
For the conversation that we had last week. I really enjoyed it, and I learned so much that I never even knew what all it took to even start a business. So, you know, with that knowledge and the research that I've been doing, you know, as of late, you know, I'm starting to see that maybe this is something that is actually doable because, you know, whenever we were talking and I was sharing my ideas with you, like, this is something that even myself, I had never heard of a quote unquote insurance consultant. This was something that, I don't know, I guess maybe the ancestors was talking to me this one night. This was something that just came to me. And, you know, since this is what you've been doing pretty much most of your life, you know, dealing with these insurance companies, dealing with people, dealing with insurance companies, you know, well, why don't you consult people on how to do that?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I definitely, again, want to encourage everyone in the chat room. You know, a lot of times we hold these jobs over years and we don't realize that that knowledge that we're gaining, we can turn that into a business. You know, it's whatever you make out of it. You know, you got to basically turn your lemons into lemonade. You got to be able to take the knowledge that you've gained and use that to your advantage. So, Carrie, I want to get your take on it. I know that you're interested in as well in starting your business. I want to get your take on where you are with things.
Well,
as far as starting a business.
No problem. You can hear me? You guys can hear me? All right. So everyone on the chat, basically I participated in a business 101 course. It was just so I could get some feedback on where I needed to start. So I want everyone on the chat to be aware that if you are thinking of starting a business, especially in your community, you have to actually write down what exactly is your idea, how you're going to put it together. If you have a business plan, there are classes out there that are free in the community and you can participate. So don't feel like you're alone. I want everyone to know that in the chat. You have people out there like Quan who is willing to share and give you the knowledge that you need and information and resources. So basically I took a class, I sat down, I like painting a lot, walls, design and everything. So that's what I really wanted to do more say. Can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just turn your volume up a little bit.
Okay, no problem. Let me see. I put it up. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, cool.
I wanted to, paint for people apartments, like when they offer or they want to hire these big contractors, big painter. I just want to be in a community where I can paint several walls in their apartment, whatever colors they want. They can hire me. My thing is, I know you have to start networking and putting your ideas out there, like I stated earlier, and let people know that you are willing to do this for a small fraction. Not so cheap, but inexpensive, but just enough so I can start there. And then if I develop into hiring other people to help me out, that's where I want to go with it. So mine is mostly towards decorating.
Okay. So we're definitely going to tackle both your idea and as well as Miss Tony's idea. And so I just want to talk about where do you start to, if you're considering starting a business. And the first advice I would give everyone is to, number one, get a mentor. There's nothing wrong with getting a mentor or asking for help. Don't be afraid to ask questions or get help.
Okay.
Find somebody who has started a business or who has a similar business. And, whatever you want to do, find that person who has been through that experience and basically ask those persons like, hey, what advice would you give me? What can I do to get started? What are the pitfalls? What to expect, as you want to be a painter or in this business. My mentor was a Colombian lady. She's an architect, and she taught me some very valuable lessons. And believe it or not, I actually went to other Black architects and they did not provide me any help. Oh, wow. But this one lady I met through graduate school, and believe it or not, this lady, she found out about me because I was in grad school at Tulane, this private Ivy League school. And I had a full scholarship, but still needed a Grad Plus loan, $15,000 in lab fees and all these extra fees. And so my professor, who was also the dean of the school, had told her about me. And she told her my whole background story. And this lady was like, you know what? She reminds me of myself. Like, I'm hearing about her and she reminds me of me. And she literally took me under her arm and she said, you know what, I'm going to co-sign your Grad Plus loan. I was like, you don't even know me. She was like, yeah, but I want to help you. And I never had somebody outside of my race to really step in and do those kind of things. And she was like, look, I'm a minority just like you. I'm a female just like you. I'm going to take you under my wing and I'm going to teach you everything I know. And you're going to use that information to build your own. And she, ironically, one of her employees who was over the Department of Development, he came to graduate school and I presented this project to him. And ironically, they were working on this quote unquote development. And so he was like, yeah, you should hire her. You should hire her. And he was like, yeah, I've already spoken with her. And so this lady literally took me under her wings. I was driving from Baton Rouge to New Orleans, which is about an hour away. And she literally said, you know what? I'm going to take you, move you to my sister's house. She stayed one street over from the university. You're going to stay there. If you don't want to stay there, if you don't feel comfortable living there, you can live in my condo. Otherwise, you can stay at her house. And they, as a family, took me in. And this lady co-signed a Grad Plus loan for me. She basically gave me a job with a salary. She was like, look, just come in whenever you need to come in and, you know, do whatever you need to do. But I just want to help you until you're able to basically fly up the nest. And the reason why I'm telling this story is because you need those kind of people that's willing to stick their neck out for you and be able to take you under their wing and show you the way. She literally, you know, she taught me a lot of things. And I want to get your take on it. What's your take on having a mentor and, you know, looking at somebody and saying, hey, I need help, or hey, can you guide me? What's your take on it, ladies?
You know what, Kwan, you are absolutely right. I remember we spoke about this a couple months ago, and I was thinking also to do my non-for-profit substance abuse / family counseling. So I was able, besides the painting, I was able to get someone to push me towards getting, you know, trying to get my KSAC hours, for those who know, is for substance abuse, in order to work with that population, period, unless you go for, you know, a license or something like that. So, you are absolutely right. I believe in mentoring. I believe if someone is willing to share their knowledge, and you should take it. You should appreciate it, because especially for our own kind, sometimes we don't help each other. Because I had someone who didn't help me to obtain my my KSAC hours. She refused to sign the paper, and lo and behold, there was a Caucasian lady who actually signed the papers, and she pushed me forward, and she had me participate in family counseling sessions. So sometimes, you know, it's a downside to people not helping one another, but there's always other people outside of our culture who's willing to help us, and we should not be ashamed. Sometimes we get on a platform and we do discuss the things that white people have done in the past and continue to do, but we need to look beyond that. And I'm all for mentoring, no matter what race they are. And I love your story, and I love the lady that helped me as well, Becky Thomas. I don't know if she's out there still alive, but she helped me tremendously, and I'm all for mentoring. 100%.
Yeah, we need allies. And I know we talk about white supremacy a lot, but again, you know, you will be surprised. Your own people will turn their back on you just as quick as day. And, you know, sometimes it's the people you expect to help you that don't help you. And that's, unfortunately, that's how it is sometimes. But again, you know, if there is an ally who is outside of your race, who's willing to help you, there's nothing wrong with accepting that help. I wish I could receive some help from somebody who has shared the same skin color as me, but unfortunately that was not the case. It was another Colombian lady that helped me, you know, and so unfortunately sometimes that's just how it happens. I just wish that we are able to help one another more than what we do, and stop having this crab in a barrel mentality. You get what I'm saying? So what's your take on it, Miss Tony, having a mentor?
I totally agree. Sometimes you got to get your help from whoever's willing to bless you with some help, you know, whether it be black, white, red, green, or blue. I think having a mentor is a wonderful thing, because we all need somebody to, you know, guide us along the way, you know, help us where we stumble and give us some advice, you know, to keep us on that right road to where we going.
So go ahead.
So having a mentor, someone who's willing to take that responsibility on, because being someone's mentor is a great responsibility. I'm all for it.
Okay, so I want to talk about the process. And as you know, with any business, you have to build a solid foundation before you can start. And I want to talk about basically how you lay that foundation. And one of the first things you have to do is basically register your business. And by registering is you have to determine whether you are going to be considered an LLC or an L3C or a B Corp or a sole proprietor or a partnership. And I will definitely tell you, when it came to my business, I decided to do an L3C. And an L3C, for those who are not familiar with it, it's basically a hybrid between a for-profit and a nonprofit. And basically, because I do like affordable housing for homelessness, and I do workforce housing, and I do like revitalization of low-income neighborhoods, I wanted to do more of a social impact, you know, tax bracket, if you will. And I would definitely tell you, if you are trying to register your business or deciding which one to go under, LLC is your best possible scenario because you're tax list. And if you're ever sued, you don't have to worry about the burdensome of you getting sued and everything being taken away from you. They can only sue the business and not necessarily you. So it protects you personally. So I always encourage people to do an LLC, but if you want to do more of a social impact benefit to the community, there's two options. You can do an L3C or you can do a B Corp. And basically a B Corp is, it's basically a corporation, and it's, you know, it's legally, you know, the requirement for it is quote unquote a corporation. And basically what it does is it's people who work in a community who does quote unquote the better good for the community. So it's just another formation of a business entity. So you do have both. And again, do you have questions on this?
Yeah, I just want, what does LLC stand for so that way I can look at it later?
So it's Limited Liability Corporation.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and so if you guys have questions, please, by all means, you know, ask me while I'm going through this. And I also will be dropping links to websites and information for everyone to go to the website and also kind of just thoroughly, you know, maneuver through. And
Okay,
so again, the first step is deciding, you know, what kind of corporation or formation of a business that you are going to be. And the next step is, depending on what state you are, the IRS may require you to have what they call an operating agreement. And so you have to basically write out your operating agreement. And so your operating agreement basically sets forward like who is involved in your company, how it operates, what happens when, you know, who gets to fire people, who gets to hire people, the day-to-day operations, and the details of everything, even to the point of if you die or get divorced, what happens to your company? How is it going to be, you know, distributed to others, you know, if you have like people on your board and what have you. So basically, having this operating agreement is going to be required because you're going to have to get what we call an EIN number. That's your employee identification number.
Yes,
and so the IRS basically requires you to have this for taxing purposes. And not only the IRS, but lenders is also going to require you to have an EIN number because, again, this is going to be associated with your business. And so the website that you go to is IRS, Internal Revenue Services.gov. So it's IRS.gov. And basically, once you register your business, you're going to get an EIN number. And so that number is going to identify your business from any other business. And so you're also going to have to register your business with your local jurisdiction. And for Texas and Louisiana, it's the Secretary of State. So what happens is you go to the website, you register it, and there's forms that you fill out depending on what type of business you are. And for mine, again, I'm an architecture and development firm / design build. So I had to register my business. And what they do is they search the database and see if anybody else has your name, your business name. And if they have your business name, you cannot have that name. You would have to get permission. That's how it works in Texas. I don't know how it works in your state, New York, or your state, Tony. But basically, like, you basically have to register your business and make sure that nobody else has that business, right?
Do you have to pay for the forms, Quan?
So yes, there is a fee associated with, in each state is different. I know in Louisiana to register your business it's like $55 or $80. I know here in Texas, it depends on what type of business you are. So if you are quote unquote like if you're a real estate agent, you're probably going to pay a higher fee, you know, or if you are a REIT, that's a real estate investment, you know, firm, you're going to pay more. It's like if you make high sales or like high profits, then you're probably going to be taxed more, and you're probably going to have to pay a higher fee. And so, which brings me to my next point, you're going to have to get a sales tax ID. So take, for instance, Miss Tony, you want to be a consultant, right? So
Right.
you are going to need a sales tax ID, as well as you, Miss Carrie, because again, you are offering a service and you're going to have to pay taxes. If, like, take for instance, if you own a t-shirt company, or if you are trying to sell a product, at the end of the day, you're going to have this sale tax ID, because again, the IRS is going to tax you, and some states have state taxes and some don't. I know here in Texas, they have, you know, some states have income taxes and state taxes, and in here in Texas, it only has quote unquote income tax and not state taxes. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So yeah, so you're going to need your tax ID number. And here in Texas, we are taxed quarterly, meaning every 4 months we have to basically report our taxes and say how much we're making. They don't let you wait to the end of the year. And you got to stay on top of it. If not, they penalize you and you pay a fee, right?
Okay.
So you guys are following me so far?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Hey, Miss Alex, I just seen you pull in. How are you?
Hi, ladies. Peace.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, Alex.
Okay, Miss Alex. And so before we go on, we were discussing starting a business, and I know you had expressed interest in starting your own business, and we'd like to get a take on what you would like to do as far as starting your own business before I go on with the rest of the information.
Yes, peace. That was a lot of information, and I'm going to have to push replay. But I know there's many people in the chat who want to write books, who have ideas with inventions and things of that nature, and conferences. Can you tell me what DBA means?
So that's doing business as. So take for instance, let's say you want to, my business name is Harvest Community Development Group. And let's say I want to do multiple businesses under that umbrella. So what I would do is do a DBA, meaning that the parent company is Harvest Community Development Group, but I have, let's say I decide to do Trey Chic Lady Society under that, right? I have a nonprofit organization, that's the name of it. So basically I can do DBA under another business name, but the parent name is basically Harvest Community Development Group. You get what I'm saying? So what it does is it allows you to operate multiple businesses under this one umbrella.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you can do so. So if you, like, take for instance, if you have, let's say you sell a lot of different things to the community, right? But you want to separate it. You may have a restaurant on one hand, and then you may have sales with merchandise on the other hand, and you may have music on the other hand, or want to do books. You can do it all under this umbrella, but you can have different business names under it, as doing it as a DBA.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions so far, ladies?
No.
No.
Okay. Ms. Tony, you have a question? Okay. So next, what you would have to do is register with the SBA. And the website for the SBA, and for those of you who don't know, that's a Small Business Administration. And the SBA, basically what they do is they allocate money to banks and to credit unions and to nonprofits to basically distribute money out to small businesses. And so when you're going through, a lot of times, like, you have to go through the SBA to get a loan, right? You might have to get a micro loan to get started. So the SBA is going to require you to register with them. You know, you may find a nonprofit locally, and they are basically going to tell you you're going to have to register, blah, 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 you know, the whole process. Everybody's different, but basically they are the quote unquote federal government's entity on distributing funds to small businesses. And honestly, the SBA was really created for us, but who takes advantage of it?
We know.
You already know, right?
Other folks.
the other folks, but us. Like they take advantage. Yeah, it's unfortunate that they take advantage of the things that were set up for us, but they take advantage of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And next, I would advise everyone to get a DUNS number, D-U-N-S. That's D as in David, U as in umbrella, N as in Nancy, S as in Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dun and Bradstreet number is a unique 9-digit number for businesses. And what it does is it identifies a company from any other company in the U.S. And it also tells about their business credit file. So it gives it everything about the company, all of the information as far as your address, your phone number, you know, and basically what's your credit rating? Are you a good credit, quote unquote, business or not? And that's how that number is associated with you. And the website for DUNS is D as in David, N as in Nancy, B as in boy.com. So as you, again, I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff out to you guys, and hopefully you guys can replay this, but this is important if you want to get federal money or an SBA, because you're going to need your DUNS number. They're going to ask you for this. So if you're trying to get, go ahead.
Question. Quan, thank you so much, just because it's so much, and I just want to make sure I'm comprehending. So for the DUNS, how is the credit calculated unless you have an SBA?
No, so how it's take for instance, and I actually have this further down on my bullet point, but basically, let's say if you are if you have a checking account set up, right? That is calculating your quote unquote credit ratings. If you have a credit card, that's calculating your credit ratings. If you are a vendor or if you do business, you know, if you quote unquote are late with payments or invoicing, that's like a hit against you because people report that on your credit. But starting off, again, initially they're going to be using your EIN number, which is going to be associated with your social security number until you build your credit up. You get what I'm saying? So starting off, they will be using your social security number because you don't have an established business credit. But once you get your feet wet and get into operating as a business, they're no longer going to use your social. They're going to associate your EIN number. So your EIN number is like a social security number for your business. And your DUNS is being reported by that EIN number because you're going to have to register like they're going to ask you to upload your checking account. You know, you can do it later if you don't have it up front, but they're going to basically ask you, you know, to upload your routing number, your account number and everything, because they're going to be tracking this information. And it's good because it's going to be building your credit up. So if you have positive reports from other companies and the credit folks and the lenders, that's all going to be building your credit up. You get what I'm saying? You guys follow so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so next is your NAICS code. And that's if you, again, plan to borrow money from the federal government, SBA, or receive a grant.
Mm-hmm.
And so that acronym stands for North American Industry Classification System. And basically what it does is this number helps you, quote unquote, or it opens the door for you to bid on government contracts. Take, for instance, you, Ms. Tony. Let's say you want to work with nursing homes or hospitals or, you know, the VA or what have you, and you want to be a consultant for insurance for these folks, right, or their families. Basically,
Okay.
you can bid on these government contracts to be a quote unquote vendor or consultant, and they're going to ask you for your NAICS number. And so basically, Miss Tony, and I'm using you as an example, and I'm going to be using both of you, all three of you ladies, but take, for instance, you're in insurance, right? So
Yeah.
if you go to the website, which is as in Nancy, A as in Apple, I as in ice cream, C as in cat, S as in Sam.com. And remember, I will be dropping these websites in the chat room.
Okay.
If you type in insurance, you're going to get a whole list of different types of businesses that fall under insurance. So whether it's direct life insurance, whether it's, health insurance, whether it's, policies for, like, how you do insurance policies and what have you, there's going to be a whole list of it, and you can select all that applies. And for me, take for instance, like, I fall under architectural construction and real estate development. So I have like about 10 different NAICS codes that fall under what I do as a business. Right? So basically it tells a story about you as a business, like what type of business or services that you offer. And with this code, you can, once you register again with the SBA and get your DUNS number and get this code as well, you're going to start getting quote unquote federal government bids coming to your email address, because you can sign up for that, where they will allow you to bid on government contracts. You follow me?
Oh, okay.
You follow me? And this goes for everybody.
I have a question. What I know you said some of this stuff is attached to your, I think you mentioned social security number. What happens if you don't have good credit, or you have a history of making, that doesn't prevent you from opening your own business, or would they still allow you to? Okay.
If anything, that builds your credit up. It does not bring your business down, because again, initially they're going to use your social security number to associate your EIN number. But then again, once you build your business up, you can directly use your EIN number, because it's only going to be associated with that business. So it doesn't matter if you have bad credit or not. At the end of the day, you're building your credit up. And as long as you're doing what you need to do, the minute you open that checking account, your credit is going to start going up. The minute you open that business checking, that credit card, your credit is going to go up. I kid you not. Right?
Nice. Okay.
Okay. And so again, in your case, Terry, like you said, you want to be a painter. There's government bids, like for schools, hospitals, government buildings, military buildings, whatever. Where they have bids, I can show you emails where I get bids on restaurants, government buildings, whatever, and it's strictly on bidding on painting, because I'm listed under as a contractor, right? And so. Yes. You might have somebody like a Panera Bread that says that we were renovating the space, but we need a bid from painters to paint our entire restaurant. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So again, by having this information, it allows you to, receive bids from not just the federal side of things, but from other businesses where you can bid on it. And so also, ladies, again, we are what they call a double whammy. You are a female and you're black. To any business lender, that is like awesome, because you're like, this is what they want. They want to lend to minorities. You're female, you're black. So that works to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? So always remember that works to your advantage. Men, you too, you're still considered a minority in this country. So again, just with us, because we're both female and black, it's what lenders call a double whammy. That's what they want. They want to lend to people like that, because that's what the SBA and SBA loans and microloans are specifically built for. So, just keep it in mind. Any questions so far? Yes, Ms. Tony.
I have a question. Do they have a business organizations that determine like by age?
Is there a business that determines by age? Can you explain your question a little bit so I can answer it?
You're saying like all these, you were saying that we're a double whammy. We're female and we're black. Okay, somebody like me, can I be female, black, and over 50? Is there like an organization that would like deal with that?
Yeah, I'm quite sure there is. Like, take for instance, this nonprofit company who, like, if you are an elder, or if you're like senior citizen, or you are vet, or you have a female, like, they have nonprofits that have what they call a target market or target like audience where it's specific. All you got to do is do a Google search, honestly, and it will tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, it will tell you specifically what this nonprofit, you know, and even if you go to the SBA, it will, like, if you type in your zip code, it'll give you all the lenders who basically work with you, Black, female, minority, right?
Yep.
So if you go to the SBA.gov, you type in your zip code, it's going to give you all the lenders, whether it's a nonprofit, whether it's a credit union, or whether it's a Black bank or bank or whatever. It's going to give you a list of everybody that lends, and it's also going to tell you about classes, how you can, like, if you want to receive training, you know, in specific fields. Everybody's different. As far as like the types of businesses that they want to do. So again, they offer training according to what business, you know, needs that you may have at that time.
Right, because in New York, the classes that they have is like early during the day, so and they for free. So you could also go on the website, like the website New York. If anybody who lives in New York, of course, they could go inside NewYorkCity.gov, and you can have all the information that Kwan's mentioning for anyone who's interested in starting their business.
Absolutely. And so next, again, if we go to sam.gov, that's S as in Sam, A as in Apple, M as in Mary. On Sam's website, you can get your CAGE number. And for anyone who does not know what that means, that's the Commercial and Government Entity Code. CAGE, that's what the acronym means. And it's just another unique identifier that assigns you a number. So take, for instance, if you want to be a supplier, let's say you want to supply computers to schools or businesses or technology or clothes or janitorial services or whatever your business is, you will receive bids based on what you're trying to supply to the public, basically. And the federal government, like, I knew somebody who basically, he was supplying, you know, software to the federal government and to the public. And so he was receiving bids specifically for that, and he was allowed to bid on those contracts. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
And so it doesn't matter, again, whether it's a business, a school, the federal government, you know, institutes. Basically what it does is it allows you to, quote unquote, be able to be a supplier and bid on contracts.
Okay.
Follow?
Yes, I follow.
Yeah.
Okay, and so any questions on this part before I move on?
No.
I got a quick question, Kwan. So listening to that, like the CAGE identifier to be able to, you know, contract with the school system, you know, hypothetically, I like the LLC, I like the DBA. What if I wanted to contract myself as, you know, a motivational speaker or as, you know, something of that entity? Are there grants? You know, would I be able to market myself, or would someone in the chat be able to market themselves in a school system?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So again, each city, each government entity is different, but take, for instance, you may want to do a curriculum for a elementary school or high school or what have you. There are specific bids and contracts where you can go on a website and you can see there's like thousands of bids where you can say, oh, well, I want to, you know, solicit my services for this to elementary schools. And you'll see a list of all the things that you can bid on. And it's an application and you apply for it. And basically, you know, there's a selection process, obviously. And so if you want to offer your services, and then you can also reach out, you can look at the bid and reach out and say, hey, I know your bid is, you know, requesting this, but this is what I can offer. And you'll be surprised at what door is going to open for you. So I would definitely encourage you just to see what's out there on the market. And again, you have different types of schools. You have private schools, you have parochial schools, you have, what's the other one?
Private?
Not private. What's the other? It's mostly found in Louisiana. It'll come back to me. Okay. But basically, like, there's so many different types of schools that offer different services. And again, whether it's through tutoring, whether it's through a curriculum or what have you, it's available. You know, you just gotta basically be creative, if you will, and then do the research to see what's out there.
All right. I have one question before you move on. For the
Go ahead.
target market, does that also help you with obtaining grants, or there's a different for minority women of color? There's a website, geared to us where we can go and obtain grants to start some of our businesses.
Yeah, so there is, I think it's grants that I could have this website completely wrong, but what I'll do is, because I get emails all the time because I have a nonprofit also. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll send you that info, but basically it tells me about every grant that's available in that state. And you can select what types of grants that you want specifically. So with my nonprofit, take for instance, it's like, I deal with a lot of things concerning like the Black community, whether it's like lupus or HIV or cancer or diabetes. And also, like, if you provide a service, you can get a grant to operate as a nonprofit. Yes, so if you got to pay employees, or if you got to get supplies, or if you got to teach a class and you got to buy food and you need a grant for that, then you can apply for a grant for that. I mean, for operational costs. That all falls under operational costs.
Right, because the only reason I'm sorry, let me cut you off. The reason I ask, because sometimes they have these, you go on the internet and they have all these type of scans and you hit the web, those pages. So I just want to know if there's one dedicated.
Always go to the ones that have .gov on the back of it.
Okay, thank you.
Because they're certified, right? And then there's no mistaking those. Again, most of them that has the .gov on the end of it, there's enterprise, there's a lot of it, not enterprise to car, but there's like enterprise, there's like a lot of different entities. I mean, there's Bill Gates Foundation. I mean, I don't even like these folks, but they do provide a lot of grants, right? So there's entities out there that provide it. You just basically have to find specifically what you're looking for and if they're offering it for that specific reason.
All right. Thank you.
Right. You're welcome. And so next, it is very important, especially, and this one is for you, Alex, specifically, because you do a lot of intellectual property. Trademark and copyright your intellectual property. This is so important because so many people get taken advantage of. They get their logos, their business names stolen, or their concepts stolen, or their intellectual property stolen, and it's because they don't take the legal step to protect their work. And if you're going to be writing books, if you're going to be publishing anything, whether it's music, whether it's books, whether it's software, technology, or whatever it may be, protect your intellectual property. Like all of my drawings, I post a copyright description in a box. And it specifically says, and I'm going to read it because I have a drawing open. It says, this drawing and the design shown is the property of the architect. The reproduction, copying, or use of this drawing without their written consent is prohibited, and any infringement will be subject to legal action.
Well, I want to know that. Yes, how you do that.
You get what I'm saying? It's how I copyright all my drawings because it's my intellectual property. And you guys can do the same thing. You all in the chat room can do the same thing. Even when it comes to music, like you have to copyright your stuff so that it doesn't get stolen, so nobody can take advantage of you. Okay. And again, the website you can go to for this is called U as in umbrella, S as in Sam, P as in Paul, T as in Tom, O as in orange, .gov/trademark. So you can trademark and copyright at this website. And this is a government website, and you can legally trademark your stuff. Even if you sell t-shirts and you do a design on a t-shirt, you can copyright your t-shirts. So don't nobody steal it.
Nice.
I'm so glad Quan said that, because just like how you used for an example earlier, how someone might want to do, lawn care, but at the same time do poetry, but at the same time, some of us have so many eclectic, skill sets that we might want to do a t-shirt and then provide, architectural endeavors, do, publishing, or do, daycare, or do, so on and so forth. So it's nice to know that you can have that DBA, parent name and then function many facets under that umbrella. And so that's really awesome that you're giving this information and these tools so that we can have the ability to access these different government, fundings and bidding. So this is really good.
Absolutely. And then this is the goal, right? I want everybody to be able to move and take it to the next level, because it's one thing to be conscious, but it's another thing when you conscious and broke. There's nothing cute about being conscious and broke, right?
You got that right. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I want people to be able to set up a system where they can leave a legacy for their children and their families. It's, again, I want everyone, and we want to take everyone by the hand and make sure everybody's able to prosper. I don't care what it is, whatever you're passionate about, make it a business, whether it's music, poetry, insurance, whatever it may be, just make it a business, you know, and I'm giving these tidbits so that you guys can take this information and start your business. At the end of the day, everybody should own something. Ownership is everything in this world. You know, we always talk about integrity and principles and versus the bag, but at the end of the day, this is, again, going to create the legacy for you to leave behind. When you look at white supremacy, what they do, transfer of wealth. Transfer of wealth. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I have a question, Quan.
Go ahead. I
want to go back to the USPTO.gov. Okay, when I don't have a business right now, but let's say tomorrow I wake up with a name. So this would be the best thing to do. Go on the website, register the name, and no one else can touch that name, correct? You will get an alert from somebody. Okay, somebody tries it. Okay, thank you.
You can create, and let me tell you something, you can create the business name. You can secure it if you're not necessarily ready to do everything at one time. You can always secure your name. There's nothing wrong with that. But do know that you will still have to pay a fee, an annual fee, depending on your state. You know, so just be mindful of that. You may register it, and if you're, let's say if you're not making any sales or any profits, then you can't be taxed. You still will have to file your taxes. But again, you still can file under a 1099. That's self-employment, right? Okay. That's self-employment. So again, that allows you to quote unquote not be taxed as a corporation under a 1099. So that's self-employment. That's for the folks who work from home or who have a really, really small business, because technically a small business is like 50 employees and up, I think 50 to 100 or whatever it is. But, you know, for Black people, that's like, no, we got one employee.
I have another question. I'm sorry, I don't need to stop you.
Right.
I have another question. Does this also help out, let's say, I have a friend who wants to do the YouTube. So we will take the same step. He wants to have his own, like how we discuss, you know, our platform and everything. You want to start a YouTube, get all these hits so you can make money. Does this apply to that as well?
Well, that's different, right? That's different, right? Because you don't need to start a business to quote unquote to start a YouTube and have a platform, right? You can still get monetization on YouTube, make money from it. But the trick to it is like, I think you have to have like a certain amount of followers before you can get monetized. You can still do it, but again, you don't have to quote unquote have a business to do it. Now, if you are quote unquote trying to sell something, you get what I'm saying? Then that's different. Then I would tell you, yes, go through the steps. But if you're just trying to, you know, just start a YouTube page and make some money from it, you don't necessarily have to do. Now, be mindful, you know, if you get 1 million followers and you getting all this money, then obviously you're going to be taxed. So be careful about that. You know what I'm saying? So
thank you again.
You're welcome. So next I want to talk about writing a business plan, right? Because if you're going to apply for federal funds, whether it's a grant or whether it's an SBA loan, you're going to need a business plan. So if you're going to get, like, again, an SBA loan or a grant, or get venture capital or angel investor, or even investment from family or friends, you're going to need a business plan. And so for those of you who don't understand what a business plan, you may have heard of the term, but don't understand like what's inside of it. Basically, it's a statement about what your business is, how it operates, how it is managed, how it interacts with the marketplace, how it functions financially, you know, what are its strengths and weaknesses, you know, how on a day-to-day basis does your business operate. You know, basically it describes just the fabric of your business.
Yeah. And who's your target audience and stuff like that. Right.
Exactly. Like, who's your target audience? Like, what are you trying to acquire? You know, where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? And you're going to give projections and charts and what have you. And basically, it tells a story about your business. So if you're just starting off, then you will be, quote unquote, trying to get startup money. Now, if you are already in business, and let's say you just need capital, or what they call working capital, then a bank may ask you for a business plan or an executive summary. An executive summary is just basically a one-page summary about your business and how much money you need, what you're trying to do, and how you're going to pay it back, in a nutshell. That's about as layman as I can put it. But basically, your business plan tells lenders who you are as a business and where you're trying to go as a business, and your projections, like who's your target audience, your target customer, like what do you, you know, how do you see yourself as a business, basically. And so, do you have any questions about, quote unquote, the business plan?
No, I took the class for that one, so I remember basically what you stated. Yes, I remember. So that was helpful.
Next, which I think is very important as well, because again, you are going to have to really lay the foundation, and to start and to kind of discipline yourself, you're going to have to open up a business checking account. And all those things that I described prior, you're going to need to show this to the business. I mean, I'm sorry, to the banks and the lenders. And so a lot of people are more, you know, for you going to credit unions because they're more lenient with their quote unquote lending abilities, as opposed to going to a big bank or what have you. You know, there's more benefits with it. And so, you know, I always just advise everyone to, you know, get it started, get the business, because you, again, you, like the story of Noah, you don't wait for the rain. You build the ark before the rain comes. So when the blessings start pouring in, then you go ahead and you have everything set up. So you don't have, oh, I got to go run and get me my checking account open. I got to get this, I got to get that. Oh, I don't have this available. I don't have it ready. No, you got to have all of that already set up. So when the money starts pouring in, you don't have to be running like a chicken with your head cut off. You feel me?
That makes sense.
Yes. So get that in order before you do anything. And sometimes all you got to just put $100 in there. It don't matter. Just put $100 in there. If you don't have a customer yet or haven't got a check yet, because if you're going to get federal government bids, it may take you 90 days before you receive that first check. Okay? So,
okay.
Sometimes you might have to get that $100 in there and just call it a day, but it's okay. Set it up first, and then again, once you start pouring in, you already have it set up. And then document everything. Keep good books on your finances and receipts. Keep every receipt. So if you ever get audited by the IRS, you got your expenses, because again, you can write off everything. Your food that you eat, if you go on a business meeting, you can write that off. When you buy food at a restaurant, you can buy that off. Your gas, you can write that off. Your mileage driving to meetings, driving here and there, if you got to go here and buy supplies or whatever, that's a tax write-off. You know, buying paper, ink. You know, if you got with real estate agents, them going to a salon and getting their hair done and this and that, that's all write-offs for them, because it's part of the business. They have to look good. You get what I'm saying? It's all about how you work the system.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that insight too, because I was thinking to myself, if I am my business, then I need to be up to par and presentable at all times. So that has to be legal to write that off, as long as there's documentation. I mean, if you can write off toilet paper for some, you know, certain situations. Okay.
Yeah, you can write off, I guarantee. Like, take for instance, let's say you don't have a brick and mortar, and you basically are at home, and let's say you got about, I don't know, a 10 by, that's 150, let's say you got a 300 square foot space dedicated to yourself. Part of your utilities, that a percentage of your utilities is considered a write-off. If you're buying like toilet tissue, paper napkin, juice, water, coffee, all this food, and let's say you have clients coming in and out, that's still considered a write-off. You know what I'm saying? So if anything that you buy that you can use towards your business or for the sole purposes of your business, that is considered a write-off. And again, You just have to document everything. Save your receipts. Get a good, nice system set up where you have a filing system where you're filing it by year or quarterly or whatever. Because I'm gonna tell you, my biggest weakness is recording receipts. That's why I love electronic receipts, because sometimes I just don't have time to put in all the receipts and, you know, just expense and backtrack all of the receipts that I have. And I'm glad that I get electronic receipts so that, you know, I don't have to really, quote unquote, you know, keep going back and forth. And I use QuickBooks. I have all of my credit cards, all of my debit cards associated with QuickBooks. So basically, all of my expenses, whether it's coming from a debit card or a credit card or whatever, it's being documented. So it's got gas, one file, utilities, one file. You know, it's like, it's broken down per file. So it's when it's time to file my taxes, all I got to do is print out that table, and it's already going to be broken down per use. You follow me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question, Corn. That was one of the questions that things that I was curious about. Having an online business as opposed to having a brick and mortar. So all the paperwork and everything is still the same, or would I have to do something different since mine may be considered like a at-home or online business?
No, it's all the same. It's all the same. Again, the only difference between you having a brick and mortar and you having an online business is you got more overhead. And by overhead, meaning you got more utility, you got utilities, you got employees to pay for, and all this other stuff. So there's no difference between the two as far as the type of, or the process you have to go through. The only difference is you have less overhead. That's it. But the process is all the same, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You're welcome. Okay, so next, this is going to be so pivotal for you. You have to have a think tank, and that includes an accountant, a lawyer, and a business advisor. That's your think tank. So if you're ever sued, or if you got to serve somebody some papers, if you got to put a lien on somebody's property, or if you got to threaten somebody to get your money and they haven't paid you, or you got to file your taxes with your accountant, or he's telling you how to, quote unquote, use your expenses so you can have tax advantages and benefits, or if you have a business advisor that tells you that, hey, you know, there's a benefit here, or you can go here and the city is offering this to businesses, you know, to promote revitalization or what have you. These are the kind of people that you need as part of your think tank.
Can you repeat that one more time? A lawyer, accountant, and what's the third?
A business advisor.
Thank you.
Business advisor.
Okay.
And again, you're going to need these folks because, again, these are the ones that are going to be giving you legal, financial, and business advice.
Okay.
You're never too smart or never too grown in the business to have these kind of people, because again, they're going to be protecting your financial interests, your legal interests, and your business interests.
That's right. Okay.
You follow me?
Yep.
Okay. So
there's always some type of loophole or something that we might not know, or some changes to something. Okay, got it.
Oh, exactly. And so next, as far as, again, once you define your business, your objective, your goals, you know, where you see your profit, and I'm bouncing back to the business plan, but I just want everybody to kind of have an understanding of that. And once you develop, you know, how your business is going to be organized, you know, as far as your needs and what you're going to be putting out there as far as your service, then it's going to be time for you to basically train your employees and hire employees. So you got to have an idea, because you may not start off with a whole bunch of employees. It may just be you. But eventually, you always want to have the motivation or the mindset that, you know what, that's my goal. I want to get to the point where I can have at least 10 employees or 20 employees or 50 employees or whatever. And you got to have that structure. You have to know, quote unquote, you know, you have to have it established in your business plan. Number one, who is in authority? Who's in management? Who can hire and fire folks? Who trains and selects personnel? you know, basically inventory. If you offer services to the public, who's in charge of, you know, buying inventory and supplying inventory and purchasing and sales records and cash records? Like, you got to have an understanding of this stuff. Like, if you offer something and sell to the public, this is stuff that you have to have an understanding of. And also laws and regulations. You got to understand there's certain laws that you have to follow as a business, so you don't wind up in jail or on some Ponzi scheme. Okay? Yeah. So, you want to have all of these things in mind, but also, which I think is very key, this is part of your marketing. You want to create your logo, your business cards, and your promotional items. Like my company is Harvest Community Development Group, and my logo has a harvest, but it has my name and business in it, and it has like black and brown and all these colors in it. But I use these same colors on everything, from the website to my business cards, promotional items, my social media, basically everything. Like, I use the same, and that's what you want to do, because if you ever look at a commercial, they always use the repeat same thing, so it subconsciously reminds the customer of who you are as a business.
Yeah, like a slogan, right?
Not just a slogan, but just you have to have something that it can automatically associate it, like, oh, okay, that's Harvest right there. I recognize that symbol. You want something that people can automatically associate with your business, right? And so when you're handing out brochures, when you go into events and you're networking and you're telling them about your business, your logo should be consistent. Your website should be consistent. It should be functioning and working. I can't stand going to a business website that's not up and running and functioning.
Okay.
Right? Like, you want to be able to have your business card. Your business card should have your logo on it. You as the owner, it should say something about your business. Your website should do the same. It should be easily, something that you can maneuver through easily. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Absolutely. So again, these are things that's going to be key for you to operate as a business, and you're always going to have these things. You're always going to have a website, business cards, logo, and website, and promotional items. So that's something that you're going to have to stay on top of. And if you can't do your own logos, well, I do my own stuff. That's just because of training and educational background. But I don't use somebody else to market my stuff for me or do my stuff for me. I do like all my logos, everything, websites, everything. So I don't have to pay, because I always have this notion, why pay somebody to do when I already know how to do it, right?
Do yourself, right?
But everybody does not have that skill set to really want to know how to do it. So hire somebody that has a good rapport with the community, has a good reputation, and that can do it for you. And again, if this person goes out of business, or you have some beef with this person, or you don't work with that person no more, you should be able to still have that intellectual property in your possession. Right? And you should know how to, if you need to make updates on your website, if you're selling merchandise, then you should be able to go there and update. You shouldn't have to go to this person every time and update your website through this person. That's ridiculous.
Okay.
So real quick, Quan, I have a question to ask, because this is so exciting, yet it gives me anxiety, because it sounds like so much information. And I know that there might be somebody in the chat that's like, wow, I want this, but I'm scared, or I'm ready, but I need a consultant. Quan, can you be that business advisor voice for us if we want to submit a blueprint? Because all these acronyms, I got it. I'm going to replay this. I'm going to write it down. Yet, what if I want to literally treat this like a paper and be methodical and write everything and write the vision and give it to you to look over? Can we do that and use you as a point of contact?
Absolutely. And I've said this before, if you need help, I am willing to offer my services, meaning there's no fee associated. Just because I want to see you succeed, I'm willing to help. At the end of the day, when you bless somebody, you get blessed 10 times over, right? Or 100 times fold. So again, and what I can do is I can put all this information in a bullet point form for everyone that needs it, and I can put this on an email blast and send to everybody that's interested. So if you're interested, email Professor Griff. I'll drop the email in the chat, and I can share this information with Professor Griff to send out this email blast so everyone has access to everything that I'm stating on this chat. Okay?
Okay.
And if you need any advice, any information, whether it's, I don't care what it's about, everything we discussed tonight, I can definitely, if I can't help you, I can lead you to somebody that can help you. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so last but not the least, you know, this is very important because I started off, I used to be so like, oh, am I charging too much? Am I charging too much? Know your value, know your worth. Have an established fee schedule, if you will, of what you should be charging. Do not sell yourself short. And one thing I've noticed about when dealing with us, they don't want to pay us our worth, but they'll go pay the man, the white man, their worth. But they'll try to sell us their own. You get what I'm saying?
It's so true.
And I always tell them, look, there's 10 other Joe Blows down the street you can go to. I'm not changing it. And people that's in the church, they are the biggest crooks that then screwed me over. And I'm just going to keep it all the way 100. Bishops and ministers and pastors that then screwed me over. Okay? Okay? And it's not everybody, but I'm just saying that's been my
experience, right?
Right. And so just know your worth. And again, don't sell yourself short because at the end of the day, you, again, are trying to create a legacy. And so you have to know your value, you have to know your worth, and don't be afraid to say your price. If they don't like it, guess what? Okay, cool, go to somebody else. You know, but be realistic about your pricing and your fee schedule as well. Don't be trying to sell no $100 t-shirts that you didn't pay $5 for. Okay? Be realistic about it. Now, there's this one, oh my God, I can't, I'm just, when I have so many things going through my head, it's kind of hard for me to remember business names and names and what have you. But this one lady, she sell like these head crowns and jewels, and I think it's called Grace by something, I don't know. But she, you know, I look at her work and I'm like, that's worth it because everything is like all of her pieces are custom. I would buy that much for that. I would spend her $100, $200 for her work, and it's all African inspired, African eccentric inspired, and it's like these crown pieces that go around your neck, and she has the head pieces, and you know it's very, you know, lovely and gracious, and I love her work. And I see sometimes where people are like, oh, it's too much, and blah, blah, blah. It's custom made. Yes, she can charge too much.
Oh.
You know, I'm like, I would spend that amount for, because I know it takes time to bead that. You know, I know it takes time to shape this and customize this. So yes, no, I would pay to have her, you know, custom work, because at the end of the day, I know it's going to last. When you spend your time on stuff like that, I know it's going to last. I know it's something that coming out of China that, you know, that's just quickly pushed through, you know? So do you have any questions so far, ladies?
No.
And by the way, the name of her, I don't know if you know her name, the name of her company is called True Face by Grace. Y'all should check her out on Instagram. She has some amazing work. I mean, it's amazing. Again, her name is True Face by Grace, and it's all custom handmade pieces. And her work is fabulous. Like I would literally spend the money for her stuff because I know, again, she customized everything. But what I'm saying to you is know your worth, know your value, and know what fee structure. And if you gotta go to your competitor and see what their price is out, hey, if you gotta be competitive and say, hey, well, I know Joe Blow is charging $1,500 for it. I know he's a little pricey. Maybe I can do it at $1,200 or $1,400. Mm-hmm. Some customers will go to you like, oh, well, I could save a couple $100 here. I'll go with her. But be realistic about it. Don't send yourself to the poorhouse trying to beat a competitor. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Yes, quick question. Hypothetically, how long does it take for most businesses from your experience to get launched from start to, you know, production and going?
6 months to a year, realistically.
Okay.
And because you got to do your due diligence, you got to do your research, you got to register. If you don't have the money to start off, you know, you got to save money. And again, remember, if you're trying to get working capital, get at least 6 months, a minimum of 6 months of working capital to start off with. If you're trying to get start off money, that's going to allow you to, so if it's slow or if you're just trying to find your bearings, get at least 6 months of working capital. And for those of you who don't know what working capital, that's operational funds. That's money to help you operate in an event that stuff slows down or shit hits the fan. That's basically what it is. It's like money that you need to help your business operate on a day-to-day basis. So if you got to hire employees and let's say your business slows down after month 3 or the 3rd quarter or whatever, then you can tap into that, operational fund, and you can pay your employees. You don't have to go into quote unquote the poorhouse, and then also revolving loan. You want to get a revolving loan or a line of credit. If you know you're going to be a vendor and you're going to be selling products and you need that revolving where you can pay these invoices to these people that you're buying stuff that is making your product, get you a line of credit so you can be able to pay these invoices. And that's also building your credit as well. Okay? Questions so far?
No, Quan, not for me.
Okay. Well, so I'm going to basically, again, last I want to just market yourself, because I don't want to be too long with this, but market yourself, know your audience, get out there on social media, go to the events. There's a lot of events out there that businesses hold where you can go and network. You can set up a table, even with the conscious community, like go be a vendor at the conscious community events, these lectures and stuff like that. Go set up a table and offer your services to the community. You'll be surprised who will be willing to buy your services or hire you for your services or your products. So get out there, market yourself, whether it's in trade magazines, whether it's with, the yellow pages or whatever it may be, make sure you put your business out there, because it's all nice and dandy to have good credit, got all your stuff together, but you can't market yourself. Then what's the point? You got to be able to bring the customers in, because if you don't have a brick and mortar and you're just an online-based company, guess what? You're going to have to market like hell to get your business out there. And there's a lot of competitors out there. So if you may be unique, but again, you got Joe Blow down the street doing the same thing you're doing. You may be a little different, but again, if you're not putting yourself out there, then what's the difference between you and him? Right?
True, I agree.
And for me, like, when I came to Texas, all it started off was with one contractor who told another contractor who told, and it's like a lot of my business comes in by word of mouth. I seldomly market my business, because so much of it comes to word of mouth. And that's not going to work for everybody, but in my case, as an architect, it's better to have word of mouth because you have people speaking on your behalf. You get what I'm saying? As opposed to you selling products. I'm more or less a service where people are like, okay, well, I heard of such and such, she's an architect, blah, blah, blah. She did my house, my sister's house, or whatever. Woo, woo, woo. So again, market yourself, put your business out there, know it's available. There's funding out there. There's many avenues. I'm going to be dropping all these links inside of the chat room. If you guys need any help, please do not hesitate to ask me for help. It's like they said, closed mouths don't get fed. So if you sit on your hands and close mouths, then you will never be able to pursue it. There's no such thing as a dumb question. So do you guys have anything you want to add? We want to close this out. Do you guys have any questions?
I just wanted to thank you, Quan. It takes a lot for someone to actually have the information, be very well invested in helping their community and sharing stuff that other people would not share at all. So I truly appreciate it. And I'm going to take some of the stuff that you gave me and start tonight. So I'm thanking you for the knowledge that you dropped today, and I appreciate it.
Perfect. I know it's a little rushed, and I'm just pouring out so much info because we only have, again, an hour or so to kind of push out this information. And maybe, I don't know, maybe at some point at a later date we can do another round of this. But just to kind of see where you guys are, to gauge you guys and see where you are in the process, I would love to see where you guys are at a later date, maybe 6 months or so from now. But, again, it's a lot of information, but what I can do is put this on an email blast, and so they give enough information so you can go research it on your own, do your due diligence.
Right. I was going to say that. It's a lot of information to take all at one time, but you gave us something that we could start off with, and that's for me, that's wonderful. So whatever information you gave me, some of the stuff I will take into account and start. So that's why I say I appreciate the information that you have given us.
No, that's why I thanked her for our conversation, because I didn't know where to start with this at all. Like, you know, that I got, you know, at least I got like a basic understanding of what I need to do and where I need to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you did. I mean, and I believe in every single one of you, all of you ladies who participate all the time, but also the people in the chat room. Like, I really do want to see you guys succeed. You know, this from the bottom of my heart, as a community, if I wish every last one of us can have our own business, but obviously everybody ain't meant to run a business. But for those who can, I definitely commend you. I encourage you. I hope you succeed in every endeavor that you do. And again, I just, you know, whatever it's going to take to you to get to that level, catapulted to that next level, I encourage you to do that. Because next year, again, it's 2020 vision, y'all. The black code. Ownership is key. Start that business.
Amen.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Quan. This is very selfless. Much appreciated. And I know that there's many other people, especially Sirius Mindz family, who are just waiting for that right moment. So I'm just relieved that I can actually take that business name and put it on hold. For me, that's a start, because so many of us, you know, are working right now. We're parents. Timing is everything. So this is a reliever for me, because I know I have so many visions in my heart. And I know people in the room are just waiting for their opportunity to just break through. So this is just legitimately direction and guide. So this is on point for you, sharing selflessly and just willing to help gauge and guide us. I mean, it's support, and that's a beautiful thing for you to do. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. And do know, everyone, you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have all the money in the bank to get started, right? Just know that you have to take that first step, right? You have to kind of jump off the diving board and take a leap of faith. So you don't have to have it all figured out. You know, a lot of times people like, oh, I'm waiting on God. No, God is waiting on you. He's already prepared the way, okay? He's already prepared the way. He's just waiting on you to take that leap of faith. And again,
that's right.
The first step. So you don't have to have everything figured out. Sometimes you'll be surprised. Whoever you consider God, creator, or whatever you worship, whatever, even if you're an atheist, who knows? I don't care. But at the end of the day, you got to take a step forward to make it happen.
Quan and ladies, before we also leave, I want to also make the announcement that everyone that's on the chat right now, if you still tune in, if you still tune in, please give us like at least 2-3 minutes. Your name will pop up, the winner for a Soleil CD. So pay attention. Album. Right. Do not sign out. We are going to make that announcement. Just pay attention, stay focused, and that winner will be presented with a CD.
So again, Soleil's new album, Encoded, is available now on all musical platforms, and we are gifting one of our faithful followers and listeners with Soleil's new album, Encoded. We definitely want to big up Soleil on her new album release. Congratulations, Soleil. Congratulations. We honor you, Queen. Congratulations on your new album release. And so everybody, please make sure you just go download her new album. It's available now. Before you do that as well, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. And if you want to support us on a platform, you know, you can hit up Super Chat, Cash App, and PayPal. We'll post the links for you in the chat room. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We really appreciate everything that you guys contribute to this platform. Professor Griff, we love you, we honor you, we salute you. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity. So thank you. Ladies, any last word before we get off on the chat?
Everyone have a blessed night. Okay, I heard Tony.
Hey, think positive about your businesses, y'all.
It's
time to make some money.
Absolutely. Alex, any last word?
2020 is the year. It's going to be the year. Get on code, the Black Code, Sirius Mindz. This is encouragement. This is like fuel. It invigorates and it gives an aim, and that aim is on point. So very exciting. Looking forward to celebrating and getting that blueprint to you in email ASAP.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Peace.
Thanks.
Sleep well, fam.
Good night.
Good night.
Peace.